Welcome, Crafty Friends, and Collins here for Pixie Dust Designs. Today we're going to create this lovely lantern card. Let me go over the products. I'm using the You Are the Light of the World die set. This die set has 21 dies, 1 centimeter. It cuts 50 pieces. 6 of the dies cut multiples for you. You cut has the lantern, the backing for the lantern light, all the little lantern layering pieces, the florals. This floral and these leaves here and these leaves are one die and it cuts out multiples for you. The florals are layering. That means that you have your base, your little stamen. See, here's the 2 layers for that one. And then you have your topper pieces. There are indications on your dies to let you know where the pieces all will adhere. I'll show you more here in a moment. So here are all our pieces. We're going to use some ink. So I'm going to move that out of our way. So I can bring in the little lantern to better explain what I'm saying. So here's the lantern piece. It'll cut this whole piece, but an opening here. This is your backer piece. This will just be adhered like so. Now on that backer piece, there's a little indication where to put your light. This is your little light, and you just go ahead and adhere it right there. Everything is set up perfectly. All you have to do is adhere it all on the indication spots or lines. So these are your little side handles to your lantern, and these are all the rest of your little pieces. They all layer onto your lantern. Lots of layering, lots of little pieces, I know, but it does come together really quickly, especially since everything is indicated where to adhere it. So you also have references. I'm just trying to show you, it's easier to see on the die right now. That's where this little outside piece, this side is straight and the other side is slightly slanted. The little slanted piece will be adhered to that little slightly slanted indication, and the other topper will be straight, and you have to adhere it there. Now I cut mine out of single-sided foil cardstock or shimmer cardstock. You can cut yours however you would like. For the flowers, there are multiple pieces, so you can create a larger, a mid-size, and then a tiny one if I could find it. Here we go, like so. The medium one and the little one have 2 pieces of petals to adhere. All of them have a stamen, which I cut out of black, and then the little center, which I cut out of yellow, similar to the package, but I picked oranges and pinks for mine. Um, So you have your leaves, they also layer on top of those. So you have your base leaves with the stem, and then all those tiny little leaves, you can adhere those. And then you have all this die that cuts 4 of them at a time. They're like little sprigs, which will be great filler pieces. So I'm going to put all of this back into my tray. Here is my card base. I have a pattern paper that coordinates beautifully because it has all the same colors that I'm using. And this is a layering cardstock similar, same color as my lantern, except for my lantern, I used a little, oops, wrong ink, a little bit of Mermaid Lagoon just to give a little accent or a little shading to my lantern. That's all I did, just a nice little shading. And then this little white piece will be layering on top. That's where we'll build and adhere our lantern to. Here's our sentiment. I stamped it and fussy cut around it and have some foam adhesive behind so that it can be popped up. All right, so let's get into what we're making. I'm going to bring in some Distress Oxide and squeeze lemonade. This is to add some accent to our little glowing light. I'm going to put it from the bottom up and just going to let that blend. It is a shade lighter than my cardstock. So it'll be darker and then it'll be bright. I'm going to place at I'm going to shade some on this little backer piece because it would be glowing inside my lantern. So there we go. And that's that little piece I cut out of this really pale blue I have. I mean, it's barely blue. It's perfect for glass. All right, so I'm going to adhere that little center piece right where it's been indicated. And when you die it, cut the piece, it will make an indentation to let you know where to adhere it. So that part is done. Now this is where everything's going to lay. So I'm going to bring in my lantern so I have a good idea how far out I want to go. And I'm just going to add a little bit of yellow right in the back, right here. I'm not going super dark. It's just to add the glow of the light being on. Then I check to make sure it looks good. It looks good. I'll set those pieces to the side and I will go ahead and clean off my surface. Now we can bring in all the piece. Oh, I'm going to bring my floral first before we go to our lantern because I'm going to be inking this as well. I cut this from a pale pink. Let me grab all the little petals. And I'm going to bring in a little saltwater taffy ink, which is slightly darker than the pink that I cut my flowers from. So there we go. I'm just going to put some towards the center to make it look like it's darker going out. It'll make sense once you start layering it up. On these, I do the same. I did this, do the same as I did to the little light. I just ink it from the bottom, fading out or fading out away as we go. Now to adhere these is really simple. There's an indication mark where your centers go. So you put a little bit of glue and then you put those little stamens right on there, right on the center, and press them in place. I do the same for all of these. And these have like a rounded bottom with little sprigs going up. You know exactly where to place it because they did all the guesswork done for you here, Pixie Dust Designs, putting those indication marks for you. I'm looking for my other little yellow center. I've misplaced it. I'll find it here. It's on my tray. I just haven't noticed it yet, but I'll notice it here in a sec. So go ahead and adhere this one. These little ones here, you put the black stamen, then the yellow little dot there, the yellow center, and then you adhere the other layer, making sure that the bottom edges match up. So I will put some foam adhesive behind those. And look, I found my little yellow dot. Here we go. So I'm going to go ahead and place that. And again, match up the bottom, that little round bottom edge, and you'll get the perfect little flower. It's so cute. There we go. Well, I have to press it in place, which I didn't do. That's user error. Here we go. Now those are done. Now for our little leaves, I cut the little stem from a darker green, and then the little leaves, I cut them from a shade lighter green. Just going to put a little bit of adhesive on each of these, and then go ahead and adhere them. Now they're varying in sizes. They start from really, really tiny on to bigger because the top of your um, little leaves here or stems start out with smaller leaves and then they get gradually bigger just as things grow. Okay, that's all done. Look how cute. And I didn't put enough adhesive on that one. So again, user error. But it's one of those days. And then I'm going to go ahead and press that. Now that these leaves are done, we can work on putting our lantern together. So let me just quickly put away my embellishment wand. So that's out of the way so it's not rolling all over my desk. All right, I'm going to grab my lantern pieces. I'm going to start by adhering the backer piece on here. And you can, of course, make your lantern any color you would like. You can make it all out of shiny paper if you prefer to give it that perfectly shiny lantern feel. So go ahead and line that up. And now it's telling me, well, it's not telling me, it's trying to show you that they're letting you, lets you know where to put everything. They're perfect indication marks all along the way. And if you still aren't sure about a piece, you can easily pull out your packaging. On the back of the packaging, there's always an image so you know exactly where it goes. Because right here, I placed this in the wrong spot. Then I look at my packaging and I'm like, oops, that's in the wrong spot. I wipe up the glue luckily right away and I can adhere it. This is why I say check your packaging. So go ahead and adhere that in place. And these come together pretty quickly. This is from the new release and it's from the Promises release. And it's a beautiful release. There's quite a few items in this release. There's the hummingbird. There's this. There's a little lamb, a lion. There's what else? Oh my brain. Just lots of beautiful, beautiful images to work with. Oh, there's a sneaker with lots of florals as well. So I'm just going to go ahead and continue to build our little lantern, placing everything where the indication tells me to. So, and again, use your packaging reference. Obviously, I needed it too. So I'm going to go ahead and keep adding this here. This bigger piece goes up here. And this also, just in case you're thinking, well, if you're going to cover up those indication lines you told me about, they cut into that piece. That's why I was showing you with my embellishment one. They cut right into it. You still have your indication lines to line everything up. All right, I'm going to put that little topper there. And then as soon as I get it straight, I have it really crooked. Let me see if I can get this straight. There we go. I'm also cleaning up any excess glue. And then this here, you're going to adhere, put a little glue on these little legs here and press your lantern onto it. It's the little handle that you use. Now, it doesn't stay real quick for me here. It's actually glued to the table rather than, because I put the glue and it slid. Just, it's a little finicky, but it will stay. Trust me. Just takes a moment. There we go. Now I got it, sort of. I just gotta, and I finally glue it on, and I glued it on crooked. So, and I still used to be gluing more to my fingers than itself because that's a me thing. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and glue these two little pieces right where it tells me. Remember, the slanted one goes towards the bottom, or the angled one, I should say, and then the other one on top. Repeat the process on the other side. And now we can place this onto our little card um, piece here. Just putting a little bit of dots of glue, and then there we go. I found using liquid adhesive to build these to be very useful because it gives you the just the right amount of movement to get everything where you need it to be. All right, once I have it where I want it, I'm trying to line up the peak of my lantern to the peak of my hexagon there. It's an oblong hexagon. So I'm going to then mat this onto that blue cardstock, and it'll be ready to be placed onto my card. Go ahead and get that there, press that. Now I can set this to the side and we can start adhering our card. So I have this beautiful piece of plaid paper and I'm going to adhere this towards the top. I used a die from my stash to get a little funky little edge on it. There we go. And then I'm just going to adhere this directly onto it. I'm not popping this up because I'm going to pop up my flowers. So I'm going to press this in place. Now on the back of my flowers, I already have a small pop dot, whatever, foam dots. So I'm going to remove all the backing and I'm going to start arranging these. I place, for some of these, I go ahead and place the flower down, and others I place the little stems, and then I arrange them, especially these little ones. Now, the real small ones, I do not have foam adhesive on those, just the bigger and the medium ones. I'm going to go ahead and go and adhere the little stem, and then I'll just tuck it here and there, creating an arrangement around the lantern. So as you can see, I just tuck them here, and then the little sprigs I will add as, filler as we go. Figure out where I want it first, and then I just start going. Now it's your turn to be as creative as you want. And you can put as many flowers or very little flowers. That's up to you. I put, a nice amount. I wanted it to be nice and floral all the way around. So I'm going to keep adding some here. I realized I didn't put foam adhesive on some of my flowers and I didn't pull off all the backing from my sentiment. So I needed to pull off two pieces before I can put it down. So I put my sentiment down because I want to tuck a few flowers around the sentiment. So here's where I realized my little florals don't have foam adhesive. Gonna get those on there. It's slightly off screen, so I'm so sorry about that. There we go. So I'm going to put a little glue on this little stem, tuck it underneath just behind my sentiment, and place my floral. And you see those little sprigs? You can tuck those wherever you would like. They are just little filler pieces, and they're so tiny and so cute. There we go. And then you can use these florals alone um, to create a beautiful, bouquet of flowers and so forth, something very feminine. Then you can use the lantern. Think of using it in reds or shades of green for like camping and such for a nice masculine card. This is a very versatile die set. Don't look at it and say, "Oh, well, you put florals with this lantern." It has to be very feminine. Well, guys like flowers too. That's one. And two, it doesn't have to be. Just change it. Just use parts of your dyes. Make them so you can get more use and variety out of your dyes. All right, so I'm trying to put my little sprigs here, get them turned correctly because they were flipped upside down, meaning the die cut pieces were flipped. So I can now tuck them in. I put a little bit of adhesive first onto my pattern paper or my card, and then I just press the little sprigs in there, as well as a few of the leaves. Since we have so many left cut, I figured I can just stick some leaves here and there along with some sprigs for filler. So wherever I see that, oh, it needs a little something, that's where I stick a little sprig. I have a few more to go. That little piece is lifting up, so I need to make sure that I get that adhered. And I think we're good. So I'm going to go ahead and yep, we're done adding all our little sprigs. Now I'm going to add a few little gems to my card. This is totally optional. You don't have to do it if that's not your thing, but I like adding a little bling to my cards just to give it a little extra. So I'm going to add just a few around our sentiment and our focal image so that your eye catches and moves all the way around. I'm using just plain crystals, or they're not really plain because they shimmer, but non-colored is what I should say. There's just crystals. This way your eyes can stay focused on the color that is here, but those crystals will catch your eye. So we tend to, you know, we are truly, attracted to shiny things. So we'll see the shiny, we'll look at it, and then we'll catch across. So here's our finished card. I love this beautiful lantern. It's so great. This is the You Are the Light of the World stamps, stamp and die set. And this has, like, again, 21 dies, 1 centimeter. It cuts 50 pieces, 6 cut multiples for you. I will have this linked in the description box below for you so that you can go ahead and go straight to the shop and pick it up. I can't wait to see what you make with it. Be sure to tag us if you do. Thank you for being here. Here's another look at our card. I hope you found some inspiration.